Sacha, sathi, true companion. TL Vaswani. L- Wow, love and fellowship, pyar and milap. Continued. Only when the fingers come together that they lift a morsel to the mouth. It is not sufficient indication that only when the work is done in cooperation that it becomes possible to open 10 live livelihood. The branch that gets separated from the main tree gets dried up and burns quickly. It is true that one who gets alienated from his true brotherhood can never prosper. Make a place for yourself in the hearts of all people. Be permeated like fragrance in the flowers of humanity. Do not be a burden on anyone, but an adornment to all. The grains that got separated from the heap of the corn were ground into flour. Same is tragedy of those who alienate themselves from true comrades. Union does not mean coming together of bodies, but of hearts. What does it matter if you construct a fine palace for your own residence? You will be a man only when you build a house of love within the hearts of your fellow beings. Love is the magic that turns a foe into a friend. It is of little trifle for love to make a flower out of a thorn. A steel sword cuts one piece into two, but the arrow of love turns a twin into one. Too much familiarity leads to whittling down of affection and appreciation. The Bill woman residing in the forest of Chandan tree has no other value of Chandan except to burn it as a fuel in her kitchen. A mango tree grown in isolated place has no value. When it grows in the garden, it lends a beauty to itself and enhances the value of garden. That is the virtue of fellowship. It is a common saying that even a dog is appreciated when it is in the company of the kindred. Fill your heart with love and affection. There is such a divine radiance that one can change sorrow into happiness in a twinkling of an eye. I inquired what was the real recipe to please God. The reply was sweet tongue. Speak sweetly wins the heart of men. What pleases humanity must please God. O wise man, let your speech be sweet upon the core of your every word of it might light up everything, even like a candle. Patient leaders therein. O God, you have bestowed on me so many joys of the world. Pray give me a little virtue of endurance as well. Why should I be afraid of the ups and downs and of the waves of fortune when I am securely anchored in the ship of patience? Why should then there be any heart beating? Wealth can vanish, honor can disappear, a friend can turn out to be unfaithful, but patience can never be robbed or destroyed. I asked, can this mountain of calamities be lightened by any means? The reply was yes, through patience. Do not be bowed down. Let come what may. Remember that God is your helper always and at all times and at all places. One who has fortitude is superior even to the one who is endowed with the gift of the gab. He who has a massive control over the mind is better than the king who is successful in the conquest. Oh, brother, do not be dragged away in the current of vain thinking. Listen patiently to your inner voice and act to his advice. Saintly beings know neither slandering nor grumbling, for their hearts are factories of manufacturations. God has endued the world with untold blessings, but there is no blessing equal to that of patience. Just have a taste of it. And patience like a burning candle which consumes itself from top to bottom without any murmur. Why should not my heart remain ever satisfied when in every breath I swallow anger, I savour food and keep on drinking over in the water of covering up the faults of others? To have a glimpse of heart that is unscared by fire of anger is more meritorious than performing pilgrimages to Ganges. Oh man, you are the product of earth. The characteristics of the earth is patience. Hence, you should also be patient under all circumstances. When I listened to the ears of patience to the hard remarks of others, I found that each remark of theirs was full of instructions, even like a scripture. If a fool behaves improperly towards a wise man, he does not gain superiority thereby. If a golden cup gets twisted by a stroke of stone, it does not mean that the stone will fetch a price higher than that of a cup. It does not matter if the body is not strong, but the heart must necessarily be strong. I inquired if there was a way to improve a thing gone wrong. Their reply was, yes, patience, whether a torch is held erect or upside down. In both cases, the flame goes upwards. Similarly, a man of patience will always keep smiling, maintenance under all circumstances. Patience is time accumulated. If you value time, do not be impatient, for impatience means sheer waste of time. One moment of patience is capable of setting right something with years of impatience may have only made increasingly worse. Oh, brother, do not be dejected. This world is a place that belongs to Almighty God, and you are the guest in this place. When your host is Almighty, why should you, his guest, fret and fume? Salvation is said to be the cessation of all sorrow and advent of all joys, but true salvation means perception of sorrows in all joys. Sorrow is the remedy for ills, while joy is nothing but disease. No state can last forever when everything is to pass away by worry at all. Were you to test the sweetness of endurance and to know the infinite value of sacrifice, every kind of hardship would be a triple for you. Nothing is here that is new for you. Frustration, disease, sorrow, death are of everyday occurrences. Why they mope over ordinary things? Time is a great healer. Realize this and try to have patience from the very beginning. Take the earth in any way you please and make concessions in trees in any manner. They will not utter a word of complaint. The sense will also have in this fashion. They heed not the good or bad speech of the people and are always giving up patience. God knows more luster when it is put into fire. The man of patience shines more when calamities overtake him. Shukradai, thanksgiving. Kritikyata. Do not forget what you own to anyone who has obliged you. This is the mark of the goodness of to acknowledge obligations, and it is a sign of bad luck to be thankless. Once every hair in the body be endowed with the power of speech, even then it will not be sufficient to sign grateful praises for the Creator's goodness. O Lord, you were pleased to provide food for us even before the heat made their appearance. With that tongue, may I express my thankfulness. Acknowledge with heart and soul your obligation to anyone who does you even a bit of good. If you were to act in this manner, always your heart will become a fountain of ambrosia. God is a real giver, but the credit goes to one or the other person through whom he gives. Could this fact be realized, there would be nothing but thanksgiving on one's tongue day and night. Be alert in thanksgiving ever, like a candle. Even though his body is burnt up, it continues to give light from the tip of the flame. The remedy of the disease of pride of dreadfulness. When a man becomes ungrateful, the suit of his egoism makes him look ugly, that no one would tolerate his presence, as it would be the case of the persons infected with leprosy. An ungrateful man is in hell even though alive, whereas a grateful man is always in paradise. If you decide to learn the lesson of thanksgiving, learn it from a coconut tree. It gives back in thanksgiving sweet water and milky cream in return for water given to it what is growing. The heart of a grateful person is an ocean of bliss, and his tongue is a spring of sweetness. The Creator who takes care of it at every moment and enables us to breathe deserves thanksgiving with every breath. Compassion, there. Compassion means lenderness of heart. This virtue is the key of all virtues. The man who possesses the virtue of compassion has all other virtues included in that one only. God is called the helper of the helpless. Anyone who takes care of the helpless person is an incarnation of God. One who is grieved at the sight of the pain in others has all his pain obliterated by the grace of God. Do not hurt anyone's heart, for every heart is a dwelling place for the Lord. Tenderness of heart is termed compassion. If the heart is full of daggers, what good if the tongue be sweet? God is the helper of the helpless and the abode for homeless. If you were to help the helpless and provide shelter to homeless, you would become godlike. Joy comes galloping into the heart of him who makes another person happy. Lucky is he who realizes this in his experiences. Oppress others only to the extent to which you would fear to be oppressed yourself. Be just in your actions. True charity consists in giving help to the needy without anyone being aware of it, and puts is forgotten at the very moment. What is the vast ocean is of no use to the thirsty, as it cannot quench his thirst. The riches of a rich man are like the sea water. If they not utilize for satisfying the needs of the needy ones, they are no better than dust and charcoal. Jealousy and malice, hasad and sorrow. Isha Vajalan. The breath rate of you, jealous man, is like the speed of a saw. Every breath of his is sawing his heart. Why should I not pray day and night for the person jealous of me, for he is burning the records of my sins by consuming himself? Malice is such an awful thing that it keeps burning the heart of the malicious person. Also, his face burns black as the sight of the heavyweight person. The person who abuses you out of jealousy give him your blessing. This will strengthen your power and turn women into ambrosia. When a man curses you for no fault of yours, take it that he is passing on his blessings. His curses will then burn into blessings for you. How can the fire of love be compared with the fire of malice? The former burns once and then extinguishes, but the latter keeps burning every moment of life along. Oh friend, tell me, let me tell you the way of escaping this hellfire. The fire of malice within your heart is nothing but fire of hell. Extinguish this fire so that you may enjoy the goodness of paradise in the light of him. Everyone desires to be joyous in spite of this. Everyone is burning himself in the fire of malice and jealousy for his own doing. Alas, your heart burns when other man sins. He sins and you agonize for nothing. What kind of justice is this, O heart? Why do you get burned in the fire like others? If you were to rejoice at the progress made by your neighbors, and associate of anyone of inferior status, it can be said that jealousy and malice have parted company with you. Wow. Poverty, garibi, nirdanta. I have put on the apparel of poverty so that I may be able to taste the philanthropy and compassion of the rich and wealthy person. My poverty is a beacon light for the opulent. What if I am poor? I am at least free from the troubles that attend the royal throne and pangs that oppress the opulent. Crystal sky is the ceiling of my wallets. Dwelling in moonlight is the golden glory of my uncircumscribed house. Who can be richer than myself? My wealth consists of renunciation of desires. In the dry bread of the poor is the hidden vitality of poor health. In the delicious dishes of the rich is a poison which causes various diseases in their bodies. By the blessedness of poverty, I have won the hearts of friends that grows my humility outstrips their pride, mightiness, dignity. Is not cotton thread together with then a silken one? From this one can infer whether a cotton wearer is stronger or the silk wearer. A mine of gold and the jewels is found in places of dissolution and under the earth. In the same way, the poor who has no cash or wealth is really the owner of the vast riches within. Kingdom belongs to the presidents and dervishes, even the king and the noblemen beg favors of their goods. What need have the poor of the cushions and the carpets? Is there any carpet to complete with the earth? The footprints of the poor make lovely paintings on that carpet. He who feels himself an orphan has God as his protector. One who feels himself low has God to exalt him. A wise man has said that one should be lowly as an ant which crumbles, not even when trampled upon. Do not be proud like a wasp who flies in the sky but stings anyone and everyone. He who thinks himself a master has to live as a servant, and the one who feels himself as a servant enjoys the life of a master. He is not great who cows down 10 persons by virtue of the high dignity, but great is he who bows down his head before others without seeking favors. Humility is the sign of greatness. He triumphs who accepts defeat with pleasure. He who is standing at the base of the hill views slope as if it were an ascent. In the same way, one who is humble always turns misery into happiness. Poverty can never be robbed. Riches always stand the danger of being robbed. One who is seated on an elevated position fears the fall, but he who is already seated in a low place fears no fall. The poor and the rich just the same when they sleep, but the poor man gets up more sound sleep, which is the treasure of joy. The poor who is contented and resigned in his Lord is far happier than the great man who is discontented with his Lord and thereby remains needy and miserable. Santosh, contentment. Santosh. A wise man has said that craving for more and more can be satisfied either by contentment or death only. There is no third remedy for this malady. Contentment is that treasure which confers royalty on the poor. Even a king remains hungry if he has no contentment. O wise man, can you not understand his riddle as to why the nature is provided two parts in the grain of gram? From the very beginning, it is done with the purpose that the created beings should share their means with others and learn the lesson of contentment. There is no greater calamity in this world than realizing on others. But who makes a man dependent on others? It is the raised craving desire. It is all right if a person performs acts of service with a view to get a reward, but there is no equal to a person who renders service out of sheer love. There will be no end to craving even if a person gets the treasure of Kuber. Guru Nanak has truly said the hunger of the hungry would not be satisfied even if he is given heaps. There is no hunger greater than cravings and no satisfaction greater than contentment. The craving is a fire and the worldly things are its fuel. The more one gets what worldly things, the more ignited is the fire of craving. What is the mark of a satisfied one? It is one who is contented with at least little bit. The liberal outlook would reveal surplus always. There is a narrow outlook that reveal deficit all ground. Why not? Then have a liberal outlook. If you desire a glance of add beauty, look at it in such a way that all senses get satisfied at one stroke. If you want to enjoy the taste of something, do it in such a way that the palate gets satisfied all at once by a mouthful. If you want to smell of fragrance, to do it in such a way that the brain gets filled forever with one sniff of perfume. He who is satisfied with a little bit will lack no enjoyment. Fortunate is he who is contented with a bit, for he gets an enjoyment of heap out of a grain. More the desires are satisfied, more they rise. Abandonment of desires leads to fulfillment. One who is afflicted with cravings is bankrupt even though he may have plenty. And the one who is contented is opulent even though he may be poor. Oh, why satisfaction is a virtue of the heart. What relation has acquisition and non-acquisition of things with satisfaction? If acquisition of things lead to satisfaction, why should then one rich people be afflicted with the disease of greed? O heart, decorate yourself with an ornament of contentment. The beauty of this decoration will bring you honor in this world and a supreme position in the next. Solitude, ekant. Ekant. When friends and relatives become devoid of the affection, when wealth and property bring no satisfaction, when office and dignity give no joy, thus feeling isolated, the heart loses charm from all worldly beings. Then a corner of solitude appears joyful, even like nectar. When I decided to pass the remaining period of my life in seclusion, I began to search for a solitary corner. I found that the real solitude lies in getting rid of the thoughts of this world and next. Whether one sits alone in the caves or the banks of the river under a shade of trees, if the thoughts of the world arise, it cannot be called a solitude, but a trap of Maya. To live alone is not solitude, but to rid the mind of the thoughts is truly a solitude. A solitary corner is God's temple. To sit in seclusion is to enter God's darbar. Who is a Satan? A hypocrite who pretends to sit in solitude. One who has felt the joy of the solitude will neither crave for worldly things nor for honor. Even it is not possible to renounce all worldly connections or sit in free in solitude if nothing else. At least one's own body is a constant companion causing obstruction. To free oneself from the body thought is the true solitude. As long as the child is alone in a corner of mother's womb, he does not cry, but as soon as he comes out of the womb, he begins to cry. Similarly, the one who comes out of the corner of solitude and joins an assembly shall have also to cry. The true solitude consists in one's mind being absorbed in bliss consciousness while participating bodily in all activities of the world. He who knows the true value of life should feel the solitary corner as a treasure of Kuber. I asked, "Oh, drop of rain, how did you turn into a pearl by living in solitude in the heart of coral shell?" Aha! There is a possibility of alternation when two persons come together, meet. But there is no such possibility in the case of a single person. In my house of solitude, day and night are the same. Being plunged in solitude, I know neither the sun nor the moon. By leaving something, one does not get rid of it. By running away from something, one does not give it up. Even if a man goes to live in a desolate place, if worldly thoughts arise in his mind, he is yet caught in the same world. To be in a solitary corner with mind free of worldly desires and hearts charged with the love of God is all that is required. Man came alone and will return alone during short interval of his association with others. Let him not forget his solitary origin. O wise man, ekant, solitude is made up of two syllables. Ek means one, ant means end. It means a place where there is a cessation of with one. That is the stage of self-denial and self-intoxication. Ekant means cessation of even one, and that one is the ego. He who is free from ego is always ekant, solitude. If you are possessed of ego, you are not free even in solitude. If you have freed your ego, you will realize ekant even in the midst of crowds. Beautiful. Non-disclosure of faults. Parda Poshi. Aha, wow. God discloses not the faults of that person who does not expose others. He who is able to look at his own faults cannot see faults in others in extreme. If you desire that sin, make it away from you, deny its very existence to such an extent that you may not be able to see it in any other person. Sin approaches not the person who finds no sinner anywhere. Avoid dwelling in sins of others. You get those sins to be a down on yourself. He who suspects others to be evil is really evil himself. Suspicion always haunts a guilty mind. How happy is he who suspects not sin in anyone else whatsoever? Magnify your faults even from a drop to a magnitude of an ocean. Diminish the faults in others to a drop even if it is as big as the ocean. A wise man said that if anger be his food to swallow and non-exposure of others' faults be his garment, he would want for nothing as long as he kept with this food and garment. If you were to wear the apparel of non-disclosure of others' faults, you would be able to see all things and remain invisible yourself. One who discloses not the faults of others has his own faults fully covered. There can be no higher level of non-disclosure of others' faults than to become incapable of seeing anything like sin in this world. O wise man, if you desire to be sinless, deny the very existence of sin. He is a true theist who denies the existence of evil. The sin of Mahatmas. Saintly beings destroys all sins because these Mahatmas do not accord anyone to be a sinner. O creature of God, you are keeping yourself busy day in and day out and nothing faults of others. Pray, think and reflect over what you have been doing. Of what avails is this all? Can you satisfy your hunger with occupation of fault finding? Will your thirst be exhaustless? What do you hope to get by it? You are only wasting your time in collecting filth in your heart. Do you like this? Not disclosure of faults of others is a divine virtue. He who exposes not others' faults becomes a darling to the hearts of all, even like God. Imbibe the quality of gathering honey like bee. Do not be detestable like an ordinary fly that sits on filth. Oh brother, have you ever introspected that when you are busy contemplating others' faults, you are losing the joy of your heart all the time? If you desire the fault of others may not be noticed by you, regard everyone as your own self. The word sin, pap, is made of two syllables, P-A-P. P stands for pay, for, and up stands for self. It means to be far from oneself or forgetfulness of one's own self. Neglect of self is far for sin. The art of shutting one's eye to others' faults is great art. Dunani asked Madana to shut his eyes. The world believes that it is a miracle that he was brought over on the summer mountain. In the twinkling of an eye, if one were to learn the art of shutting eyes, he would be able to reach anywhere in the twinkling of an eye. It is a truism that shutting the eyes in the above sense has the potency to secure him the power of reaching any place in the cosmos. This should ordinarily mean the mental attainment. Right thinking? Vichar. There is a happiness neither in giving up worldly things nor in accumulating them. Happiness lies in the virtue of thinking, whereby any sordid state of mind could be transformed into a state of sublimity. Indiscriminate thinking converts even nectar into vermin, whereas right thinking changes poison into nectar. See how tactfully a way physician changes arsenic poison into the health-giving remedy. A knife is kept in every house, save for cutting fruit. But if unthinkingly it is applied to a finger, then even a thing of comfort can turn into a thing of discomfort. The very tongue which wins a place of honor to a speaker can pull him down also. The tongue is the same, but difference lies in its use put by a man of right thinking or wrong thinking. O wise man, think twice before you do a thing. It may not be that you express or do a thing thoughtlessly and then repent. Vicha. Thinking is made up of two syllables, which and R, which means middle. R means to walk. It means to walk on the middle path, that is to maintain equilibrium in thinking. But who leans on either side is likely to fall. O Satsangi, co-disciple, discriminate over Sat and Asat. Sat, truth, is that which exists forever. Asat, that which is transitory and subject to decay and dissemination. What will you gain from things that are transitory? Acquire that which lasts forever, eternal, and be happy. No bird would approach a corn where another bird is entrapped in a snare. Oh brother, learn the lesson from sorrows of others. It may not be that others may have to learn a lesson from your miseries. Greedy people eat so much that they can hardly move about a brain. Young men eat that which is served in the place. The sannyasi and ascetics eat only that which is as is needed for the sustenance of life. The yogis can eat only half the food they should, but the wise eat only when they feel hungry and as much as is barely needed. Even if you have spent the entire life in good deeds, efface yourself completely when you are in the pleasure of your market maker. Otherwise, your good deeds even will make you subject to reincarnation, wheel of births and deaths. Let there be no hot winds blowing outside, but if a man is sitting in an air-conditioned room, he will not be affected by the hot wind. Oh brother, heart is that air-conditioning room which can be heated or cooled at will. Whatever be the outside conditions in the world, you can keep the room of your heart cool and pleasant by the current of right thinking. Oh brother, think before you act, and if you are to speak, consider carefully before you talk. Whatever is done with prior thinking does not lead to repentance. Beautiful. Humility, lowliness. Nirmanta. Nirmanta? Nimirta. The seed lay beneath the earth. Hence, it came out as a fruitful tree. You too mitigate your egoism so that you may become truly fertile. Shri Guru Arjan exactly truly observed. He who thinks himself the humblest is considered sublimest of all. He who sits on the terrace is likely to fall, while one sitting on the knee feared no fall. Oh brother, bend your head down, bend again and again. There is no other higher stage than that title from beneath. How far can one escape us? After all, your body is to be dissolved in the dust. Pride is the sign of the empty brain. Does not empty vessel thunder much? Brainy man does not brag. The light of the lamp of a heart is extinguished in no time of the idiotic thinking. There is no madness greater than self-praise. O haughty one, when the body is to turn to dust after death, why raise your head so high? The water bubble expands because of air within it. One whose brain is filled with air, pride bursts in no time like a bubble. The ban's tree grows the straightest, therefore it yields no fruits. Wow. Cheerfulness, prasanta. Prasanta. To keep face smiling under all circumstances is called cheerfulness. Everyone looks cheerful when he's happy, but credit lies in looking cheerful even in misery. Some bonum of million statement says, do not make yourself miserable, have faith in God and keep yourself cheerful in all circumstances. Be a jewel in all vicissitudes of life, for jewel has the same value and luster whether it is embedded in clay